Well, good morning, good morning, good morning. Welcome to another edition of Choppin It Up with Ramel. No notes, straight from the throat. Before we get started, I gotta give a great shout out to my man Maury for lacing me with a wonderful intro. Maury, I appreciate you. Man, that's a hot intro. I like it. My family love it. So once again, thank you. Just wanted to make sure I acknowledge you. Yeah, my man Maury lacing me with the intro. Getting right to it, we're going to start off with the NBA. I don't know what it is about the teams that I root for, man. And you know I'm talking about the Knicks. Whether it's the Knicks, the Jets, the Mets, the Eagles. We always find new ways to lose, man. We always find new ways to lose. Listen, I was on record talking to a few friends yesterday and today that this would be an easy win for the Knicks. They go into Boston after a good performance against Brooklyn. They go to Boston. They down two starters. The main starters, too, and Jay Chowder, who's their defensive grit kind of guy. Al Horford wasn't there. And what do they do? Well, let me say this. What happens? Our leader, the fearless one, who says all the right thing when it talks about wanting to be traded or do he wants to stay in New York, and when it comes down to Phil, he says all the right things. I'm talking about the one and only Carmelo Anthony. What does he do? In the second quarter, in the midst of shooting very well, he gets himself ejected. Now, listen, whether the referee has a vendetta against him or not, Anthony, you have to be smarter than that. No ifs, ands, and buts about it. This was a chance for a quality win. You're on a road. You're playing a team that's slightly handicapped. And what do? You even the score by you getting ejected. If you didn't want to play, call in sick. I'd rather you have done that than to be the distraction or the disruption in the middle of a game. Man, that's just poor on your behalf. You have to be smarter, Anthony. I'm not saying you were right or you were wrong or you were wrong or you were right. I'm not saying that. I'm saying you have to be smarter. You're the leader of this team. This was a golden opportunity to reach 500, to beat a team that's in your division, perhaps maybe secure second place for the time being, and maybe go on some kind of winning streak. We have yet to put back-to-back wins. We're 3-5 now. Had a chance to be 4-4. Now, I look at it this way. We're the must-win on a back-to-back in Toronto, who came on for an exciting win against Charlotte on the road last night, and they survived a 40-point effort by Kemba Walker, who, by the way, is growing in this league and becoming one of the better players in this game. Kemba Walker. Yeah, he's somebody to watch out for. But getting back to the Knicks and Anthony, you have to be smarter than that. We need you for 48 minutes, whether you're on the court or on the bench. We need you for 48 minutes. You're not helping the team. Getting yourself ejected with 4 minutes and 44 seconds to go in the second quarter. And oh, by the way, you were 5 for 8 for 12 points. Looked like you had it going tonight. We definitely could have used you for the whole 48 minutes. And then Brandon Jennings, man. I mean, the game is out of reach, man. I mean, I don't know what's worse. You showing frustration at the end of the game, getting yourself tossed for no reason. I mean, come on now. Something like that, all that does is put a target on our chest. Target on your back from the referees, man. You can't show them up. I mean, the game is out of reach, man. Walk to the sidelines, man. If you need to get out the game, just ask to be sub. I mean, I think Hornacek would oblige. I mean, that's just uncalled for, man. Uncalled for. So now New York is 3-5, finding new ways to lose. They go to Toronto now on a back-to-back. They fly up there. The only good thing is Toronto's flying too. They're coming off a tough win, 110-108 over a gritty performance by Kemba Walker. So maybe they might be feeling the same way as New York will. So maybe it's an even playing field when you get up there. But Carmelo, this is a must-win now. You can't afford to go 3-6 right now. And the thing about it is too, I know it's way early into the season, but I'm a firm believer. The more games you win now, the less you're going to need later. The less games you win early in the season, the more wins you're going to need later. And here's what happens right now. Outside of maybe Cleveland, Charlotte Hornets, who just suffered their second loss, and Atlanta, everybody else is bunched together, man. A 2-game winning streak, you're a top 18. 2-game losing streak, you're between 9 through 13. So you got to just be smart. And Hornets said, come on, let's rally the troops together. Let's play some of our best ball of the season, and let's get a win up in Toronto. It would be a big statement if you could bounce back from that debacle last night and get a quality win up in Toronto, regardless to the score of last night's game. I mean, the score doesn't say nothing to me. The fact that Anthony got ejected, that's a result of it. All right? Moving along in the association. Cleveland, they continue their winning ways. I mean, if you talk about a dysfunctional bunch, it's got to be the Washington Wizards. I mean, this was a team a couple of years ago was a darling of the league. They were boasting a backcourt where they were bragging about they were the top backcourt. They just can't seem to get it together. They changed coaches. I don't know about this team. I was watching some highlights, and John Wall doesn't look happy at all. It would not surprise me if John Wall would be traded sometime before the break or either after the season end. I think he wants out. His look, his frustration is saying a lot. And I'll tell you what, if I'm the Pelicans, although they got a strong little point guard over there that's making a strong case for most improved player, and that's Tim Frazier. But if I'm the Pelicans, I would try to match John Wall up with Anthony Davis. I don't know if they have the goods to give to him, maybe a number 1 pick, but I would match that up, put the two Kentucky products together because Anthony Davis does need help. But I'm looking at the face of John Wall. He doesn't look happy at all over there. I mean, the score shows that it was a close game. I didn't get a chance to watch it all, but looks like Cleveland just cruised through and got their win. In other news, Philadelphia secures their first win of the season. They avenged a loss to Indiana that they suffered an overtime loss on the road a couple of days back, and they come home to get a quality win, their first win of the season. I tell you what about Philadelphia. I got to give credit to the coach over there, Brett Brown. Even though this team is not quite assembled to compete on every night or compete for a playoff or just make drastic steps to get better, I got to give them credit, man. These guys are coming to play. I've seen them in some tough games, whether it was that overtime loss to OKC, the 1-point loss to Cleveland, or overtime loss to Indiana. I mean, these guys are coming out and they're competing every night. And you know what? They're going to take their lumps, but at some point, they're going to be a good team down the line. They're missing a few things, but you know one thing? They're going to be well coached and well prepared for every night when they step on the court. So, from that standpoint, you like to see that. A couple of days ago, last week I should say, Russell Westbrook went to the Staples Center and beat the Clippers on a shot at 18.7 seconds to go. This time around, he takes the final shot to try to win the game, and they come up short to the Clippers. They lose by 2 points. I think OKC just have the Clippers' numbers. I mean, when you look at the two teams, the Clippers is clearly assembled as the better team, but this OKC is like a thorn in the side to them. I mean, they're playing really tough. So, again, he put up some outstanding numbers. And think about this around the league. There's some guys putting up some numbers this year. I don't know what it's like stats on steroids, man. I mean, am I the only one that's seeing this? I think James Harden might have an opportunity to do something that hasn't been done in a long time, and that's to lead the league in scoring as well as assists, as he's making his claim to being the best point guard in the league. I don't buy that. I mean, he's just taking advantage of a system. I mean, if I was in the final year of my contract and I'm looking for a raise, I want to play for D'Antoni. There's one thing you will do is get a raise under D'Antoni because your numbers will be inflated because of the system that he runs. It is clearly an offensive system. I mean, he'll take you out of the game for not shooting. There's no bad shot in the mind of D'Antoni. And with a guy like Harden who just wants to shoot the ball and do anything he wants with the ball and dominate, I mean, it's just right up his alley. I mean, I don't think defense is going to come to his mind, but as far as handling the ball and being able to do what he wants to do with the ball without worrying about someone yelling at him or yanking him out the game, no. This is heaven for him. Plain and simple. He couldn't ask for a better coach. Win, lose, or draw, playoffs or not, he can't ask for a better coach for him. Anthony Davis putting up monster numbers. I think LeBron is flirting with a triple-double. Westbrook is flirting with a triple-double, just putting up monster numbers. Golden State's going to have 3 players averaging 20 points a game for the season. It's just some numbers that are just being put up. I don't know what to make of it, other than to say it's like stats on steroids. But anyway, it should be a fun season, a good season to watch. It's going to be a long season, but my Knicks, y'all need to get it together, man, because you're digging a hole slowly but surely, and before you know it, you're going to look up, you're going to be 12-20, somewhere around the 10th seed, and while other teams are getting their groove, you're still trying to find your groove and your identity. And here's the thing. I understand that, the team had a makeover and needs time to gel, but guess what? You're not the only team that's going through that. Several other teams is going through that. Within the last year or two, with the way the free agency has gone, yeah, a lot of teams has had makeovers. So I don't buy that. You got to get it together soon. Now, moving along, college football today, really no big games in my mind to watch other than maybe Auburn going to play Georgia, the number 9 Auburn going to play Georgia. Will Georgia play spoilers to a hot team such as Auburn, or does Auburn just continue their good season and just roll over the Georgia Bulldogs? But other than that, I really don't see much. I think all the top seeds is just going to roll on. I don't think there's any top 10 matchups or anything like that. I didn't see anything like that. Well, I might be wrong, but at the end of the day, it should be an exciting day for college football. College basketball kicked off, and there was one slight upset. Number 11 Indiana beating up on number 3 Kansas, so that's something to look at. It may be a little rivalry brewing for the rest of the season, but outside of that, nothing else. I mean, Duke rolls on, Kentucky rolls on, North Carolina just rolls on, Syracuse Orange, they roll on. By the way, Syracuse Orange is my basketball team. I've been following them since the days of Tony Red Brewing, a local product out of my neighborhood way back in Ravenswood houses. That's when I started following a fella down the street from me, Queensbridge housing, G. Waldron. He went there. I've been a Syracuse fan ever since, man. Went through the Pearl Washington, the Derek Coleman missed free throw, Ronnie Cycli, Billy Owen, the General Sherman, Douglas. I've been through it all, man. I can't tell you how excited when a freshman named Carmelo Anthony led them to the championship. It was one of the best college moments of my rooting days, man. I mean, that was just a great time. Jim Boeheim, one of the great coaches in the game. This guy finds a way to win 20-plus games every year, no matter who he has on the team. He plays that 2-3 zone. I mean, he don't play nothing else. Nobody seems to figure it out. And in college basketball, where jump shots is just out there, that 2-3 has always been effective. I don't understand it. Other teams try to duplicate it, but nothing like how Syracuse run that 2-3 defense. That 2-3 defense that Jim Boeheim Institute is a monster. Yes, it is. It's a monster. But the Orange is my team. Very disappointed with the NCAA a couple of years ago when they did the realignment and they moved the Orange to the ACC. Man, I remember growing up in the days, man, back in the 80s, man, just fighting with people talking about the Big East is better than the ACC. Some of the great days, man. The rivalries that took place in the Big East, man, between Syracuse, Georgetown, St. John's. I mean, it didn't get no better back then, man. And to see the Big East just demolished and broken up and teams scattered all. I'm still not over that, man. But nevertheless, man, college basketball kicked off last night, and we'll follow that as the season goes along. A little early right now, and I gotta get the names together and keep an eye on that. But should be fun. Should be a fun season. Really, it should be a fun season. For you boxing fans, there's a heavyweight fight on HBO tonight. Luis Ortiz, man, guy's pretty good, man. I'm gonna catch that fight. I recommend that. I'm not a UFC type person. I know there's a big game on tonight, but I'm not. I really don't follow that. So big fight on tonight. I can't really speak on that, but there is one on there. And then you got the NFL kicking off tomorrow. We'll do a show on that. Like I said earlier in the week, some big games. But I'm about to wrap it up here. Very disappointed in Carmelo Anthony getting ejected. You need a bounce back performance tonight in the worst way. You really do. You need to go out there and secure this win for New York. Until then, you guys have a great Saturday. Enjoy all the games. Enjoy what you're doing. Just be safe out there. I appreciate you guys tuning in. But I'm asking you, send comments, text, whatever it might be. Get at me. I like to put whatever you're thinking on and talk about it. So get at me. This is Ramel. Chopping it up with Ramel, I should say. Remember, no notes, straight from the throat. I see you guys in 24.
Chopping it up with Ramel. Chopping it up with Ramel. No notes, straight from